What's up, guys? So recently there's been some things being said about Bitcoin that I just thought I'd address, mostly concerning volatility. So a few things. Let's start with something Peter Schiff said, and I'll link to one of his videos. By the way, Peter Schiff, great guy. One of the first people that got me into really economics, Austrian thought, libertarianism. Um, and he's a really smart guy. So when I disagree with him here, it's just smart people disagree with each other, even the smartest. So I'm not saying anything to his character. So this is what Peter Schiff said. He said Bitcoin is not good as money due to its volatility. All right, so something to think about here. I just want to tell a story. One of my first big stock purchases ever. I bought this really small biopharmaceutical company called Katov, KTOV. You can go look up its stock ticker. Still probably a pretty good buy. Let me look it up real quick. But anyways, so the point of why I'm talking about this is this company that I used to trade. I'll tell you real quick. I bought it in about February or so for about $2.50. I sold it in about May for like $6. Okay, so I about more than doubled my money with this company. It's a very small company, tiny market cap, and that's in 3 months. About 3 months, I doubled my money I put in. So my point in this is to show you, and then I've bought other stocks too. I have some long term stocks and utilities. I invest in Duke Energy. And the difference with these is, so like how did I double my money in Katov in 3 months, whereas I've only moved about 12%. It's about a 12% shift in Duke over the whole year. It's been my biggest swings. And the reason for that is the small market caps. So if you take into account that Bitcoin is still relatively small in the grand scheme of things. I think its market cap's like 16 billion. It just hit a new high recently. Let's see, market cap Bitcoin. It's like 16 billion or so. Oh, here we go. About 15. It's about 15 billion. This is January 10th. I'm making this video. Which is really small. You go look at some major companies like Apple, which has a much bigger market cap than Bitcoin. To cause a shift in Apple stock would be a lot harder to do than to cause a shift in Bitcoin. There's less people that trade it, less people own it, and the fact that there's a smaller market cap means there's just less of it, less value actually in it. So one thing I have to say about that is as the market cap grows for Bitcoin, as Bitcoin becomes more and more and more popular and more people use it, volatility will begin to shrink as it's harder to move the market. Right now, if you're a big enough whale in Bitcoin, and this is the same in the stock market with like penny stocks and stuff, you can cause shifts in the price by yourself. If you have a large amount, you can sell a lot, buy a lot, what have you. So that's one thing I had to say about what Peter Schiff said. Another thing he said, it wasn't a good store of value, which I have to disagree with, seeing that almost everyone that's ever bought Bitcoin is up right now. If you've bought Bitcoin, chances are you've made money, you've profited. Unless you've bought it in the 1100s or the thousands. If you wait long enough, eventually you'll be up to. So it's definitely a good store of value. I mean, yes, there's high volatility in the meantime. Anyways, another thing about that, Adam White, the CEO of Coinbase, went on CNBC just recently. He was talking about kind of the same issue. And he talked about how we've been starting to see less volatility. And yes, it's still highly volatile, but less volatility from a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when we had smaller market caps. He also mentioned an interesting figure that I found. $100,000 a second is the amount of value that's processed in Bitcoin transactions, which is pretty phenomenal. That's a pretty strong network that's growing there. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to talk about. Oh, and another thing Peter Schiff was talking about, which he wasn't really wrong here. He was saying, it was up to like $1,100 or so, and he was saying, okay, maybe it's a good time to sell Bitcoin, buy gold. I don't really disagree. And there's actually, you can buy gold with Bitcoin. This gold right here, I bought off of JM Bullion, which I can throw a link in the description. This is an ounce, by the way, gold. It's not a bad asset to be in. I don't think it's as good as Bitcoin in terms of, usability. I think as a money, if you're really trying to see what's going to be the next money, yeah, this might be bought up to back a new currency or something, but I doubt gold will ever be used as currency today. It's just not as frictionless as other things. Which is really what gives Bitcoin its value, is the fact that it's scarce. Only so many of them will be created, and that's restricted by a mathematical equation. And its utility. So its scarcity plus its utility gives it its value. Its utility is that it's one of the best monies ever invented. It's one of the best currencies to ever be around. It's frictionless, it's cheap, it's easy to store, and just a great currency overall. And it's decentralized, which is really the proponent that makes it viable, since the government is, can't really shut it down. It's gonna have a tough time trying to shut Bitcoin down, especially now. Maybe early on, if they would have squashed it, they might have had a chance. But the further this train keeps going, the harder and harder it is gonna be for governments to stop Bitcoin. Which I've already talked about why they won't do that. If you want to go look at my other video. Let's see. That's pretty much it. I'm just going to give you guys an update on my portfolio and what I'm thinking right now. So currently I have 32% of my value in stocks, 46% in Bitcoin, 11% in Ethereum, about 7% in gold, about 2% in silver, and about 2% in, well, like 1.5% in platinum. I'm looking to add to silver and Ethereum in the next few months. Maybe try to get Ethereum up to 15%, and I'll try to at least double my position in silver. Alright, that's about it. Some interesting things that happened. My last video I made with the Black Lives Matter argument I got on Facebook. So right after I put that video up, the post on Facebook got deleted, and I was like, what happened to this? So I logged into Facebook, and Facebook removed my argument, my whole conversation, due to some terms of use agreement, which is really, this is what it's, and I've seen way worse things on Facebook that haven't got removed, right? But it's always on the left that doesn't get removed, right? If you're not in their camp, if you're not in their ideological spectrum, your stuff's gonna get taken down. Oh, if they report it or whatever. Liberals don't like free speech. I'm sorry to say it. I've never met, I'll take that back. I have a few liberal friends that are, okay with an opposing argument, but for the most part, very left to right. I'm not on either side. I'm an anarcho-capitalist, but looking at both sides, the left is very just angry and wants to shut people up, and it's very ironic that those are the same people that preach peace, and those are the same people that preach acceptance, when in reality they're not accepting of anything that doesn't fit their view of the world. Anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. I'll be talking to you guys later. Hopefully we'll get some more news coming out. Alright, remember to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.